Hello everyone, Christina here. Welcome to another YouTube video. Today I'm using these two brand new products from Mama Elephant, the Hot Cocoa Stamps and the Slim Peaking Presents die set. I'm going to open up this die set first. This is what we're going to be creating with at the beginning of this video before we get into those cute little critters in mugs. So this die set cuts out everything you need to piece together a slimline card that has 3 windows that pop up, and the windows can be decorated like presents. It's perfect for your holiday cards, especially if you're going to send someone a little cash. It's that kind of size of a card. So it's fun. I've cut out my card base out of some, let's see, this is cranberry cardstock from Concord and Ninth, and I've used some solar white 110-pound cardstock from Nina to cut out those 3 windows. I used a bunch of other dies in that die set to cut out these pieces. And the 2 green colors are, let's see, they are Parsley and Sprout from Concord and Ninth. And then that navy color is Midnight. This little splash of gold I've got going here is from a foil pack or a 6x6 pack of paper from Tonic. And I'll have that linked down below in the video description in the supply section if you're wondering about that gold. It's really, really pretty gold. So I'm assembling all of these die cuts so they look like presents on the 3 little flaps that come up on this piece. I'm using some Honeybee precision tip glue to glue all of those down, and that's going to hold everything in place. It also cuts out these cute little tags, so I use some white cardstock for that. For the heart that I'm going to put on the center flap, I put a little bit of dimensional foam adhesive on the back. Okay, so I basically have that little piece done. It will go on the card like that, but I do need to work on what's going to go behind those windows. So I'm going to take another piece of white cardstock. It's just whatever was left over after I cut the original piece with the 3 flaps. And I'm going to open up these flaps and use a pencil and draw in the openings. And that's going to give me like a pretty good idea what will be shown when you open the 3 flaps. So I'm going to cut this down and kind of continue those boxes with my pencil. And then I'm going to stamp these images from the Hot Cocoa set. So there are so many cute images in this. It was hard to decide which images to use, but I chose the tall coffee cup with the bunny and the sloth, and then this cute penguin in a mug. I'm going to save that 3rd window for a greeting. So for this large portion of the video showing the coloring, I'm only going to be coloring those 2 images right there. So I've placed them in my Misty Stamp Positioning tool, and I'm stamping the images in intense black ink from Simon Says Stamp. I chose this particular black ink because it's Copic friendly. I'm going to be using my Copic markers to color in these cute images. And so I wanted to pick a black ink that wouldn't smear or bleed or smudge once I use an alcohol ink on top. I did stamp these twice because I wanted a really solid black line. And I think my black ink pad here is probably nearing the end of its life. So I for sure had to stamp things twice, but just 2 stamps was all it took. So I'm going to take an eraser and erase some of the lines around these images here. I'm keeping some of it there because I do want to color the background behind the images with different colors. So I do need an idea of how far to take that color when I go and color in the backgrounds. I used my heat tool just to put a little bit of heat on this panel here so that when I go to color, all of the ink is dry. Sometimes when I double stamp like I did today with the intense black ink from Simon Says Stamp, sometimes if I go straight into coloring, the ink will smudge, and it's just because the ink isn't dry yet. Once it's dry, it's not moving. So you just have to be aware of that while you're working on it. So I'm coloring in the penguin, and I'm going to go into my greens and reds here. I'm doing very simple coloring when it comes to all of these images. And I'm just using my Copics. And I generally start with the lightest shade, go to the medium shade, go to the dark, and then reverse and go in the other order as I start to blend on these little tiny images. So I'm going to turn on a little bit of holiday music because this is the holiday card, and we'll speed through the coloring. I will meet you back here when all the coloring is complete.
Down to one. Should we clean up or have fun for a while? There's a sweet, sweet stillness there in the quiet Christmas air. May you find yourself laughing all the while. Have a happy, merry, beautiful Christmas where all your troubles fade away. Where there's laughing and memories made by the Christmas tree and joy for every age. So have a beautiful Christmas. Oh, have a beautiful Christmas. Oh, wrap your feelings up with care. Give it to someone to share on this holiday affair. Could there be more? In the glow of candlelight, with your problems out of sight, one can get lost in the songs of yore. Have a happy, merry, beautiful Christmas where all your troubles fade away. Where there's laughing and memories made by the Christmas tree and joy for every age. Love abounds when love surrounds our heart in need of light. For friendship grows and the winter snows when all is good and right.
After I had everything colored and I liked how it looked behind the little flaps, I took some thin Darice foam tape and I just applied it around the two flaps that would be open and to see the little critter. So the two on the left, the middle and the left flap. And I also cut down that piece that would go behind it because I decided I wanted the red of the card base to show when I opened that third flap. So I'm placing that on top, getting it aligned just right, and adhering that down. And then as I flip up these flaps, you can see the penguin right there, and then the bunny and the sloth. So I put some more adhesive on the other side so that I can adhere it directly onto the card front. And before I press this down onto the card front, I am going to add some tape runner adhesive to the back of the colored piece, since that will be touching my card base. Just going to do that right now. I'm using some Tombow Extreme adhesive, and it's going to hold this down to that card front. And after I have it placed over top, I can use my fingertips to press that down. I saw a little bit of the piece underneath peeking out, so I decided to take my scissors and just cut a little bit of that off. So I'm placing it in the center of my card base, and I'm getting that pressed down, and then I'm going to open up the flaps and press the colored piece down so that everything is adhered really, really well, and it's not going to come apart when you flip up the flaps to see what's underneath. So the sentiment I'm using says, "Sending you warm hugs in a mug." It's from that same stamp set. And I'm going to perform some stamp surgery. I know some of you don't like to do this, but I say whatever helps you get more use out of your stamps, go for it. You can always mount these back together when you stamp them. So it's not like a permanent disfiguring of your stamps. You can always put them back together if you want to stamp them together. But for me, I wanted it on 3 lines so that it would fit in that third window a little bit better. So I'm stamping these a little bit away from each other. I'm going to cut them out into little strips. And I'm stamping these in some VersaFine Onyx Black ink onto some Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock. Okay, I'm using my ruler from Lawn Fawn and an X-Acto knife or a craft knife. This is the one from Tim Holtz, just to trim out these sentiments so that I can have them inside that window. So I put a little bit of foam adhesive behind those strips and then adhered them inside that third little flap. So that almost finishes the card. I decided I wanted to add a few little elements to it. So I'm taking a white Jelly Roll pen and I'm going to add some little snowflakes to the backgrounds on both of the 2 flaps that have colored scenes inside. I thought I would give it a little bit more whimsy. And while I have my Jelly Roll pen out, I decided I'm going to add some dashed lines going around the outside of this flap area as well. I just thought the red border was nice, but it needed a little bit of detail. So I'm just going around and adding a dashed line right around the outer edge of my card. Not done yet because I wanted to add some glitter. I needed some glitter. There's some shine with the gold foil, but I wanted some glitter. So I'm using some Christmas red stickles, and I'm going to put this on pretty generously onto that red heart in the middle. It's going to be a pretty chunky amount of glitter. In fact, I put so much on that I later decided that I wanted to flatten it out a little bit. So after I had a bunch of this glitter on this heart, I actually came back with just a scrap of paper and kind of swiped it very gently across the surface of that glitter. See how chunky it is right now? I'm going to flatten it out a little bit because I didn't like how chunky it looked. You can see when I lift up that flap that it was pretty mountainous in there. So here's that, taking a little bit of white cardstock and just kind of flattening out, almost like frosting a cake, trying to even out the glitter. And it worked really well just to do that. You can see here in the end, I have a really nice flat glitter area, but it didn't take away all of the glitter. So that is the finished card for today. You can see when it's closed, it looks very fun and festive. And then as you open up those flaps, you get the surprise of those critters inside and then a message in that third window. So, so cute. This stamp set and die set are available over at mamaelephant.com and also at your favorite retailers. I'll have everything linked down below so you can click over and get any of these that you like to add to your crafting stash. Thanks so much for joining me today. I will see you guys in another video very soon.